All right, so now that this Aaron Rodgers trade is fully official, we know the trade compensation. We know what both sides finally agreed to after this long. It felt very, very long. It felt like multiple months. It's been, a little over a month, 5 weeks or so since Rodgers said he wanted to play for New York. And we all have been wondering, us Packers fans, which I am, as many of you guys know, Jets fans, both sides, we've been going back and forth, who has the leverage, who has the upper hand in this negotiation. And please give your comments on who you think really won this trade, who you think came out on top in this trade. But I don't think it's really that one-sided in this trade. I think that as conversation about this topic continued, there were probably any idea you could imagine has been thrown out there somewhere. And I'm sort of seen everything. I did notice a big sector of Jets fans that were really thinking like the Jets had the leverage because, Rodgers is up there in age. The Jets shouldn't really need to give more than a second-round pick just because of Rodgers and the fact that he might only play a year, which I just didn't think the Packers should give Rodgers up for that. Because you are getting a future Hall of Famer, one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers, and just to get only a second-round pick, it just didn't sound worth it. Like, you might as well just wait, put it off, let it go longer. If it goes past the draft, so be it, because if you're going to get, I think the Packers would have gotten fleeced if we only gave up a second-round pick. So to see the final compensation got me super pumped, got me super excited. But I don't think the Jets got fleeced in this either. I think that the Jets get a future Hall of Fame QB, one of the best QBs of all time, and you add that to a team that is, I'd say, has a lot of talent in pretty much every other area. Defense, one of the top defenses in the NFL. Lots of weapons on offense. And so now, Aaron Rodgers was that missing piece. And I think because the Packers had Aaron Rodgers on their roster, they were the ones who, had the guy that the Jets wanted, probably other teams maybe wanted as well. Because they had him on their roster, I still think they had some kind of leverage over the Jets in the sense of the Packers didn't need to settle for only like a second-round pick. In the end, they came out with 2 seconds for sure. One of them is basically going to be a first as long as Rodgers stays healthy, which the Jets clearly probably hope Rodgers stays healthy so he can take him deep in the playoffs. So it should be a first and second-round pick, and then the pick swap, and the 5th and 6th round pick, which is sort of somewhat meaningless. But in the end, I think the Packers got what they deserved for Aaron Rodgers. And I think that because of that, because they were willing to wait, and we don't know the reality of the discussions between both sides. Will we ever know exactly, the negotiations that went on behind closed doors? Maybe, because there probably will come out some kind of reports about exactly what happened. Who knows if we'll really ever know all of the information about, Brian Gutekunst's conversations with Joe Douglas, all those kinds of things. But in the end, both sides got what they saw was sufficient. The Jets, I don't think they would have given up more than they thought Rodgers was worth. But in the end, to get a future Hall of Famer, you have to be willing to, pony up some draft capital, which in the end, the Packers came away with what I think they thought they deserved. And just from looking at comments on my last video in the past hour, I can tell Packers fans are very excited about the outcome of this trade, because I think as time went on, I think initially there was this idea that the Packers could get a good amount of trade capital for Rodgers. Not multiple firsts, or not. At first I thought, okay, maybe multiple firsts, hopefully at least one. I think we saw that Russell Wilson trade a couple of years ago, or was that last year? It was only a year ago. For like multiple ones. He was a lot younger though, and so it made sense that the Packers wouldn't get that much as much as like a Russell Wilson because of his age. But in the end, I think Packers fans are happy, Jets fans are happy. And so to sum it all up, the Packers, if they didn't have any kind of leverage in this discussion, they wouldn't have been able to get, second-round pick, most likely first-round pick, and the other second-round pick as well. They had a lot of leverage because they held Rodgers. And so now we are moving on to Jordan Love. The Jordan Love is official. He was already basically the starting quarterback for the Packers, but now it's official. Rodgers is no longer on the roster. Rodgers is officially on the New York Jets. So I wish Jets, I hope you guys do great. I'm going to root for Rodgers all season long. I'll probably watch, tons of Jets games now where beforehand that wasn't a thing. So I'm going to be rooting for Aaron Rodgers, for Allen Lazard. I still got love for those guys. And it's been fun, to hear from tons of Jets fans over the past month or so, more so than usual, because usually, it's just Packers fans in my comments, but as these trade talks heated up, a lot of Jets fans appeared. And so it's been fun, seeing all your guys' comments. And I wish you guys I hope you have great success with Rodgers. Would I be sad to see Rodgers win another Super Bowl with the Jets? Slightly, but at the same time, I'd be happy for him because, I still love Aaron Rodgers. He brought a lot to Green Bay for years and years, and he'll always be a Packer in my mind. So it is finally over. This time of discussing the trade has finally come to a close. So thank you if you guys tuned in this entire time. But now it is time to move on to talking about Jordan Love, talking about these draft picks and what the Packers can do with these draft picks to build around Jordan Love and hopefully have a great future as we move on to Jordan Love in 2023. If you guys want to stay up to date with all Packers news going forward, Packers draft news at the end of this week, feel free to subscribe to the channel down below, turn on the post notifications so you never miss any news. And I also have a newsletter where I've been writing a lot more. Wrote about Bakhtiari and his thoughts on, rebuilding with Jordan Love earlier today. So if you want to read that, you can click the link down below. You can subscribe to that newsletter, put in your email, and get everything I write about the Packers. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.